disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, right from the country, Mike Gibbs. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mean Gene. How's it going, man?
I'm cool, man. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know that we're members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, we got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesday, CTE, Chris, Carlos, and Travis Experience. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Eugene and Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the inside scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Mike, it's showtime. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How you been? It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. Did you have a good trip?
Yeah, it was a good trip. We got wet. The weather wasn't cooperating every day. But other than that, it was a good trip. Did see some black bears. I sent you some pictures.
Yeah, I saw, man.
They're nothing to be messed with.
No, not at all, man. Like I sent you that documentary. You said you saw it.
I'd already seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, did you ever listen to the video of him being eaten? It's on YouTube. Yeah.
When they ate him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. I'm not messing with bears.
No.
They're not nothing to mess with, but I'm quite well. Yeah, I saw that one video you sent me. Y'all had some firearms, so y'all okay?
Right.
All right,
we were good.
Cool.
Yes,
So
sir.
tonight, Mike, we are going to talk about Red Belt. This most definitely was not my favorite movie at all. I really think, at the end of this movie, I was like, oh, Chris Dowdell just pulled a rib on me, because he was the first person. He was the first person that said that he wanted us to review this movie, and originally I thought he thought it was good. He has to. I don't know. I just assumed he thought this was good. When we did our poll, this movie lost in the poll, but you were going on vacation, and we needed to have another movie to review, and we couldn't put out another poll. Chris is one of our black belts with Team Plowden Karate. And actually, I believe he is my uncle's first student that he ever promoted to black belt.
Right.
So,
and we respect the hell out of him.
Yeah. So, and he's known me since I was a little kid. And back when me and my uncle were, getting on buses and going to, he was teaching classes at that daycare center. Chris was the person that took me and, helped train me when I was 6-7 years old. So, he's like another uncle,
Right.
So when he said that he wanted us to review this movie, I thought, okay. But after I watched this movie, man, I was like, oh, he put a rib on me. I will never watch this movie again. Never. I just did not enjoy it, Mike.
So I'm just going to say this. I think Mr. Dowdell, he has a sensitive side. I can see where he can enjoy the drama in this movie, because there was hardly any action. No fight scenes. So I could see where Dowdell would actually like this.
Oh my goodness. This is a depressing movie, man. Like I was telling you
where he likes it.
Before we started, I said this is like the karate version of The Wrestler. I know a lot of wrestlers do not like the movie The Wrestler because they said it's depressing, Right. But for a lot of wrestlers, that's their reality after they get done in the ring. This movie, man, it's just there. How we watched Where the Dragon, and we crapped all over that movie, and we did not enjoy that movie. But there were still things to laugh at and have fun with.
Right.
There's nothing to have, zero. We can't have any fun with this movie at all.
Right. It's depressing.
Like you said, this movie had, I I think 2 fight scenes. The fight scene in the bar, and then the fight scene at the very end of the movie, and that is it. That's it.
And then it showed them grappling in the beginning.
Yes.
In this dojo or the whatever they call it, academy.
Right.
So I would not. So out of all the characters we've seen in the horrible movies we've watched, I would not want to be Mike Terry. His life sucks.
Yeah. yeah. But, unfortunately for some people, that is the way of life if you don't have some other source of income. So basically what we're talking about is Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Mike Terry. He is the star of the movie. He has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy, and pretty much from the very beginning of the movie, he is faced with hard times. They don't have any money. His wife tries to order some martial arts supplies, and actually she did, and the check bounced. Yep. So they owe money. They also don't have, she kept saying they don't have money for rent also. I don't know if they were talking about the rent for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, or they were talking about their house or apartment, or whatever they had. I didn't know. I didn't understand.
I just assumed it was the academy.
Okay. Mike, have you ever done jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
I wrestled, so I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to me.
Okay.
I never cared about getting a black belt in there or anything. It takes like 12 years or a decade or something. Yeah. But I respect it and I like it and I get it. But part of this movie, though, he wasn't always doing jiu-jitsu. I wanted to bring that up. Part of it looked like he was doing Kali.
What's that? I'm not familiar with that at all.
I never heard of it. Sticks and all that. Yeah, he was doing a lot of Kali in it. So it was kind of weird.
I like jiu-jitsu. I like it a lot. I did it for about a year.
You got serious into it for a minute. I forgot.
Yeah. I trained in a lot of different places. I trained at Tim. The first place I actually trained at was Tim March's school. And
Tim March.
Yeah, I know Tim March, but he wasn't my instructor there. He was not my instructor. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting my man's name. That was the instructor of the jiu-jitsu class. It'll come to me in 1 second.
Mark Tripp.
And he'll kill me too if he knew I forgot his name. But anyway, it'll come to me in a minute. And then I went to, after that, they ended up closing down, and I ended up going to Eastside Combat Club with Vance Swearden and Brendan Segan. I trained over there with them for a little bit. Then I went to that was just too far to go to Eastside Combat Club. That was like on Hall Road.
Way out by my old work, yeah.
Yeah, they were real far. So going out there in the wintertime was just a mess. So that was like an hour from my house, 45 minutes to an hour from my house. I just couldn't keep doing that consistently. And then I ended up training with Jamel McCurry.
Oh, okay,
and I like Jamel a lot. And the way that he teaches, he breaks things down, and he really has a system, like sort of like how my uncle has it. He has his different things broken down, which is really, really easy to follow. And you drill constantly these 4 or 5 different positions and holds, and then you know how to move on from your next stripe or to your next belt or whatever. So Jamel's system was really, really good. Once again, just like Eastside Combat Club, his was in Clinton Township, and it was pretty far away to drive to in the wintertime. Plus, I was also teaching at the same time. So unless I went early in the afternoon, like I would have to stop work, go there real quick, train, and then go right back to work. And it just became a hassle. And then the last place I trained at was Mass Gym with James Lee. I went there because James reached out to me and had me come in and train with them. But then he got into some mess with his partners, and that's on YouTube. It's that's a whole.
What do you mean it's on YouTube?
They did interviews. James did some interviews. I don't know if they still up there. They were up there, but he was venting They ended up keeping the name. James had that name,
Forever.
The MASH team forever.
Yeah.
Well, they ended up keeping the name. So yeah, and the gym is still called MASH Gym.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they ended up going to court over that too, and they ended up getting the name. So he ended up starting another team, but he just put his name, James Lee's MASH team. So that was a whole mess with that, but
Wow.
So I like jiu-jitsu. It was interesting. It was fun. I like rolling around with a lot of the guys. I never really told anybody that I already had a black belt or I was a martial artist, so some of them, when we got to doing some MMA, I kind of surprised some of the guys just by the way I kick and the way that they didn't kick, so they're not used to getting hit in the head with an axe kick or or spinning hook kick the way that we did. They do it more like a wheel kick where they, keep their legs straight the whole time.
Telegraph it forever.
Yeah, so let's hop into this movie, man. So, like I said, I did not enjoy this movie at all. I didn't even take notes. I texted you yesterday because I was hoping you said that you did not see the movie, and I was going to say, sweet, we can come up with something else to do for the podcast. So I didn't take no notes. And I got ready to take notes today, and I just said, you know what? I cannot watch this movie 2 or 3 more times, to take notes. I just didn't have the energy, man, and I just said, I'm just going to grab the notes that I find online.
That's what I got open in front of me.
Okay. So it starts off, and he is in the school. He's teaching one of his students, right? And then one of his students has, I think his name is Joe. And he has Joe tied. His hands are tied. And he's trying to teach him how to get out of this position. Everything he was saying was correct, to stay calm, the move, he was trying to really force him to get it in his head. This guy, Joe, seemed like he had some other issues going on throughout the movie. He just seemed like he was the type of person who didn't believe in himself. Even though he had skills, he just seems like he didn't really believe in himself. So, so as he's rolling around, and class is dismissed, and he wants to test for his black belts. He's a brown belt. Joe is a brown belt, and then he gives him an opportunity to roll around with one of the higher ranking students to see if he can beat him to get his black belt. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't beat him. He was, and
so. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So if you want your black belt in jiu-jitsu, you can just ask to test for it, or is that just the movie?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I do. What I do know is I have seen people receive their next belt by
like in the UFC.
Yeah, UFC. I've actually seen it in jiu-jitsu tournaments also. If somebody is a blue belt and they beat someone that they probably shouldn't have beaten, they get promoted right there. They'll get a purple belt, and I'm like, wow, that's strange to me, because we have a whole ceremony and a whole test that we go through, and but it could be a thing that's just at the places that I've been, and that just doesn't necessarily mean that that's a universal thing,
right?
So, but I don't know. But in his case, he offered him a chance to, test for his black belt right there, and he didn't do it, and he was kind of beat up about it. He was disappointed. So he goes to change his clothes. And eventually, we see outside driving. This is something else that I did not get. There's a woman who is driving. She's on the phone talking to someone. She's trying to get to the pharmacy. She can't find the pharmacy. She's trying to get there before it closes. The person on the phone with her tells her that she needed to be there before 8 to get this prescription filled. So she finally finds the pharmacy, but it's closing. She's trying to get the owner's attention. He doesn't see her. He's not paying attention. And he locks up, gets in his car, and drives off. Did you see or hear them ever explain what was so important and why she needed to get this medicine refilled. And did she ever get it refilled?
You kind of had to put two and two together. So what I thought is, because later on they explained what had happened to her, and I want to say it was some type of anxiety medicine to keep her calm, and then she didn't have it, and that's why she sideswiped that car.
Yes. Okay. All right. So once again, we got to think when we're watching the movie.
Right.
So she ends up sideswiping the car, like Mike says, and the car just so happened to be Mike's car. Mike in the movie. His car.
Well, she didn't hit my shit. We'd have a problem.
So she ends up going into the school. And she's real frantic. She wants to let them know that she hit someone's car. And they're trying to calm her down because she came in kind of frantic. And then Joe had came back out, and Joe was a police officer. He ended up taking his gun out at one point, and he put it down. And I can't remember why he did that. Do you remember why
he was doing a private lesson?
Okay. So he puts his gun down, and she comes in, and they're trying to help her because they're concerned about her. And she ends up grabbing this gun to keep Joe away because she's scared. And we don't know why she's scared. Well, eventually she points the gun at Joe, and she shoots. And she ends up shooting out the window, the main window of the jiu-jitsu school. And Joe is upset, because he could have got killed. Also, it's his gun has been discharged. So he's officer. Right. So she is in a whole lot of trouble at this point in time. What would you have done right there?
If I'm who?
If you're either Mike or you're Joe.
I'm calling the police. If I'm Mike, I'm calling the police.
Okay, so this scene right here is actually the foundation of the rest of the movie because it comes up later. But you don't know that.
But here's my thing, though. I don't understand it because would they really had gotten in a lot of trouble? Because you could have just said it discharged. You were in the school. She thought it was the fake gun, and she discharged a real gun by accident. Now, I don't know if a law enforcement officer could get in trouble for having their gun out like that. I don't know.
I don't know police procedures. So if anyone that's listening, they know police procedures, please comment because I have no idea. Because Joe didn't want her to get in trouble. He did not want her to go to jail. So he just said to Mike that something flew in and broke the window. He was not going to, turn her in. He wasn't going to notify the authorities. And he pretty much just walked out and left after that. This is another thing with her. She was in the back of the academy, and she's back there talking to Mike's wife, and she's trying to calm her down. But I didn't understand what was going on in this part too, because I was trying to listen to what she was saying. It was not making sense what she was saying to me, Anyway, she's gone. We're going to move on from her in that scene. So now Mike and his wife are talking, and she is saying that they need money. So Mike's wife wanted. Let me get her name for a second. Let's see. Sandra.
Fine Brazilian lady.
Yeah, she was. Her name was Sandra. Sandra. Now she has a business also. And she has some type of fabric business where she has family in Brazil and they make a particular fabric. And I guess she makes clothes, so she's a fashion designer. So she's telling Mike that we need money. And she wanted him to go to her brother and ask him if they can borrow some money. And Mike didn't really
didn't want to go out like that.
No, he didn't. But he did tell her that he would go. He told his wife that he would go. And he goes to this bar and he talks to his brother-in-law. Now at this bar, he goes and he talks to the bartender. And he asked the bartender if Joe still works there. Joe the cop. Joe the cop who's in his martial arts class.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that? Why would he do that? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, we learn later why.
No, I didn't.
Because because Mike. So what? See, you didn't really pay attention. He was out.
I was like this. I was looking at the movie like, what?
So Mike, it really don't make sense the whole movie until the end. Kind of. It's even hard to even do. It's hard to walk through this movie. So
it is.
But what had happened? Because you almost have to go from the back to the front. So Mike had got Joe the job at the bar.
Oh,
so the people were stiffing Joe.
No, I knew that
money.
Right, I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had quit, and Mike kind of got that vibe that he had quit, so he went to just go see if he was still working there. And then he confronts him later, and he finds out why he had quit, and it was because Mike's boys had started stiffening.
Yeah, but why? That's stupid. Like who would stiff a cop?
Good point.
That's not going to happen. If anything, if you have an establishment and you have an off-duty police officer working at your establishment, you're going to take care of that officer. You're going to make sure that he's good.
Right.
You're gonna make, you know what I'm saying, at all times. Like that's not going to happen. Like I remember them saying like they didn't pay him. Like what? Who? So he quit. Like that. Did he not ask for his money? Did he not go talk to him? It was anyway, it was stupid. So anyway, he goes back and he talks to them and he's asking them why Joe quit, why Joe wasn't there anymore. And then he sees that his brother-in-law and some friends, they have a fight tournament coming up. And they're trying to get Mike to fight, but Mike does not believe in Mike does not believe in competing. I hate that type of thinking when it comes to martial arts, man. Because honestly, if you don't do any type of competition, unless you're a street person, there are going to be you probably can count on one hand the amount of times you're going to have a physical altercation, unless you're consistently in the streets.
Right.
So when else besides in the training area are you going to practice the things that you learn?
You're not.
And in a situation like jiu-jitsu, I don't know about you, Mike, but I have never been in a club or a bar, a fight breaks out, and somebody does jiu-jitsu. I've never seen it. I've never seen somebody slip on some Hennessy and fall down to the ground and grab somebody and take them down and,
I can't either.
And try and do a Kimura. That's like, it's not going to happen.
No, because my boys are going to stomp you.
Exactly. That's my whole point about jiu-jitsu. That'd
be like us somewhere and somebody takes Travis down. We're going to stomp the shit stuff out of them.
Exactly.
And the football punt them, it's over.
Yeah. Mike, you can be yourself. We not on you Facebook. We on YouTube. It's all good. you can be yourself. You can be yourself. You don't have to.
We would stomp the fuck out of them.
There you go. There's no parental advisory. You can be yourself.
Right. Okay. I didn't know if you were PG-13 tonight.
No. We're not PG. So,
but notice I said they took Travis down. They ain't taking us down, G.
It's not happening. And like you said, you're going to have a whole bunch of Timberlands on your head and some Air Force Ones or whatever people are wearing, and you're going to get stomped out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, jiu-jitsu is good if you're in a one-on-one situation. You're in your house, somebody break into your house, you need to take them down to do whatever. Perfect. Okay? If you're in the street, if you're in a parking lot, like, man, I would not suggest you take somebody down. That's just going to end badly for you.
If there's a group of people, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, if it's a group of people, right? Then no, that's going to be bad.
Right.
So he does not want to. Especially if I have money problems, like how Mike has. I definitely would have competed.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. You have money problems, bruh. You need money.
True.
You're there. You're actually supposed to be asking for some money right now. So not only could you have asked your brother-in-law for some money, you could have said, okay, I'm going to pay you back when I win the money from, whatever. It could have been like a short-term loan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway. So after he gets done talking to his brother-in-law, he walks out, he's hanging out at the bar, and he ends up seeing Tim Allen's character. And Tim Allen's character is an actor named Chet Frank. And for whatever reason, he's at the bar by himself, no security, anything.
Right.
Solo. I've never seen that happen before, especially in Detroit.
Oh, I've seen it happen.
Really? Who have you seen in the bar by yourself?
I seen Proof at 7 in Pontiac.
I'm not going to say.
Listen. But everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
He was by himself.
Yeah, I could see that,
and decided he was going to fight the whole club.
I could see that. I mean, I didn't know Proof personally, but I knew of D12 before they blew up and became D12. I used to see him at a lot of the hip hop spots all of the time, and I definitely could see Proof. Proof did not act like a celebrity. He was like, he's still from the D. He's still from here. This was home to him.
But this is after they were popular, man. So
my buddy owned
the club. We're in VIP, and he tried to fight everybody. Yeah, and he was by himself.
I could see it. I just saw Denon. I just saw Denon a couple months ago. He was at a comic book shop on 12 Mile in Berkeley, by himself, and I was like, wow, here go Denon. I got ready to go up and talk to him because we have some mutual friends, but I was like, I'm not about to be that guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it was just him and his homeboy, But here in Detroit, we really don't have a lot of celebrities. True. Our we got M, but M doesn't come out. He stays home. He goes from the studio back home. He's not really traveling around too much. And then we have people like I don't know if Tim Allen just has a house here or if
it's in Kego Harbor.
Okay, but does he live here full time or does he? He does. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Dave Coulier? These are all people like
Verlander's still around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's out all the time.
Now I can see him, but I mean, as far as being a big name celebrity, but do you think he would he have security?
No, because it's usually him and Kate Upton. They're usually in Birmingham all the time.
Yeah, I can see them in Royal Oak also.
But they don't have security.
Yeah, and all of the places that we've been talking about too, these are not places in this movie. Did not seem like it was those type of places.
Oh no,
Royal Oak and
no.
Royal Oak and Birmingham are not like whatever city this was in. This bar that Tim Allen was in. Let me call him by his movie name, Chet Frank. This seems like a rough bar. Like he had no business being there, and a lot of people in the movie were asking him, like, "What are you doing here? How come you don't have security?" This, that, and the other. And he wanted just to be left alone and just have a drink. It seemed like something was bothering him, but of course, this movie doesn't explain what he was doing there, what was wrong with him. Unless I missed it. Like I said, I only seen this movie one time. So he's starting to get harassed at this point by the people in the bar. And then that's when Mike steps in and protects him and takes out a lot of those guys who were messing with him. So here's a fight scene. But he wasn't doing a lot of jiu-jitsu. Like, he wasn't doing the grappling on the ground, I should say. He wasn't doing that. So he ends up taking out these guys. It was a few of them, maybe about 4 or 5 guys he ends up taking out. And then he sits down.
That's why I was saying he was doing a lot of Kali.
Okay. And he ends up talking to him and asking him what was he doing by himself without security. And once again, I don't think he ended up getting any answers. And then that's pretty much it for that scene. The next day, Mike ends up receiving an invitation in the mail, and it's from Chet and a watch. And we find out that it's an expensive watch. And it's basically from Chet Frank thanking him for intervening last night and saving him. And
I think he was set up from the get. Don't you, Eugene?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Because everything just this fucking movie was just so fucking weird, man. If you sit back and look at it, because what happens later on when we get there, man, it just I don't know, it just got weird. It just got strange. You could be right, Mike. You could be right because everything goes left really, really quickly. So Mike, him and his wife end up accepting the invitation to go to dinner. What Mike does, he see, this is another thing. So this guy who has money problems, he gets this expensive watch. Now he takes the watch to his buddy Joe, who was in his class.
The cop.
He takes it to the cop.
Right.
Yes, and he tells him, he tells him to pawn it. So this is an expensive watch. Pawn it, get some money, because I know that you weren't getting paid for, working security at the club. Why would Mike not pawn it himself and get money for your business, guy? You're broke.
At least, right, and if you feel that bad, just split some. Yeah, it makes no sense.
None. So at this point, I was starting to get frustrated, as you guys can possibly tell by listening to me, because it's shit just not adding up. It's just not making real world. Real. It's just not being realistic. Hell. All right, let's move on, man. So they ended up going to dinner with going over to Chet's house, and they hit it off. It seemed like they were having a good time,
right,
talking to Chet. And then Chet's wife also did something in fashion. So his wife Sandra, Mike's wife Sandra, and Chet's wife really, really started hitting it off. But I didn't remember. Let me check to see if these notes, if it says what he did. It doesn't. Well, what she did. Her name was Zena.
It don't really say. No,
but she all it really says that she wants to do some business with Sandra,
right?
Because she finds out. Because actually, you know what? They
saw about the material.
Yeah, they saw Sandra's dress. They liked her dress, and she explained to them that her family makes this fabric down in Brazil. So they wanted to do some business with her in making some clothes, possibly. And also at this dinner, Mike is talking to them about this fighting system that he invented, which is just asinine to me. Because, honestly, because this guy, Mike, was against competition. What was the purpose of creating this fighting system? So you have, I think 3 marbles, 2 are white, and 1 is black.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 2 competitors reach in and grab a marble. If you're white marble, you're okay. If you end up getting the black marble, that means that you have to compete with some type of handicap, like where your arm is tied to your body or something like that, or both of your arms could be tied to your body. Hey, come on, what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose of creating this system if you don't like competition?
I don't know.
I can see it in your face, man. You got lost. So
I mean, we used to do it for fun.
Yeah, but we also competed.
Right. In the school, I remember, all right, you can't use your left leg, or this guy hands only, this guy feet only.
Yes, exactly.
Or you would do some 2-on-1 sparring.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. But not one time did my uncle tell us to tie our arm behind our back.
I can't believe he didn't, though. He's crazy.
But still, even if he did something like that and said, okay, now you got to practice working on blocking with your hand. Well, 9 times out of 10, it's going to help us.
Oh, there would have been a reason. Right.
Because we're going to compete.
Right, and keep your hand up for a
Yeah,
second. Right.
and keep your hand up. We're going to compete in tournaments.
Yeah, for sure.
This guy is not taking people to tournaments. He does not believe in competitions. So I don't understand the purpose of this game he created. Anyway, he tells these people at this dinner, they become impressed with it. So now these people are also interested in working with Mike a little bit. Chet says that he, as you guys say, I'm just fast forwarding right through this damn movie. So Chet said that he had to go to bed. He has to get up early because he has to do some shooting for a movie. So they're getting ready to leave. Everyone is excited. Chet wants Mike to come to the movie sets the next day. I guess he just wanted. I didn't understand what was the purpose of asking him to come because they never said what you're going to do there. They just said, just come to the movie set. And so the wife is excited because she possibly has a business partner, and Mike is intrigued. Just by working with Chet and his new friends. So he ends up going to the movie set, and on the movie set, he saw one of his, I don't know if it was a student or just a friend or whatever. This guy was,
I think they had served in the military together.
Mike served in the military. I missed that part. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing either.
Gene.
Yeah, I missed that, man. I missed that part. Anyway, so he ends up speaking to him and trying to take the knife from him. And the way they pulled it off, they kind of made it seem like they didn't know each other. I didn't get that either. Like, why are you guys pretending that you guys aren't friends? Right. Anyway, then Mike gets out on there, and him and his friend are kind of quote unquote sparring with doing knife techniques with each other. And Chet comes over and he watches, and he's paying attention, and he's impressed. Yeah, let's move on. Let's just move on. So they ended up offering Mike a co-producer role on the set of this movie that they're recording.
They're just playing Mike, man.
So he ends up going back home, and when he gets home, or back to his academy, and they want him to fax over his idea for the marble game. That's what I'm going to call it. Right. The marble system. They wanted to know more about that, so he faxed over information to one of the other producers.
His whole entire curriculum for his academy.
No, was it the whole academy or just the little marble game?
I thought it was the academy.
Nah, all right. As y'all can see, this movie, nothing funny has happened yet. Nothing silly has happened yet.
Nothing.
Anyway, so as he's doing that, and then Joe comes in, and then Joe tells him that he has been suspended from work. And I did skip over a part, which was weird. Did you see the part when Mike walked through the
police station?
Yeah, the police station.
They just let him in.
They just let him in, and he just walked through and was talking to everyone.
And they all knew him.
They all knew him. Well, he had mentioned earlier. He mentioned later that he was a trainer for the police department. He trained them in hand-to-hand combat, I guess. So but still, he's still a civilian. Like it looked like he had free reign. Like he was in the locker room of the police station because Joe was back there training, and he went back there. Mike went back there when he gave Joe the watch to pawn. He also presented Joe with a black belt.
This was crazy to me. This is the part that made me really ask about how jiu-jitsu do the black belts.
Yeah, because I don't know if this is true or not. If you can just decide to give someone a black belt whenever you want to give them a black belt, I don't know, because Joe at this point, because if I understand, Mike gave him the black belt because he did not want to get what was that woman's name?
Laura.
Laura
or Lori? I can't remember.
Laura. So because Joe did not want to turn Laura into the police station or turn her into the police, he felt that was honorable and felt Joe deserved the black belt.
Took her ass right in the police station.
But I don't understand, like, why that warranted a black belt. Like, why should he be awarded a black belt for doing that?
Right, because it's dishonest. So he gave him a black belt for being dishonest.
Pretty much.
Just like Karate Kid. Yeah. Miyagi lied about a black belt and put it on him.
Oh man. Anyway, so Joe goes to Mike and tells him that he's been suspended because when Mike took the watch to the pawn shop, he finds out that this expensive watch was stolen. That was wasn't it estimated? I think they said that
20,000.
20,000, yeah. So how do you steal a $20,000 watch? I mean, like, wow, like
that had to have been a presidential Rolex.
But this watch supposedly came from Chet. Like, why would Chet steal a watch? Who he would steal it from? Chet did not seem like a poor person. Right.
But I think it's part of the setup.
Yeah, but like you said, yes, that's correct. But like, why would they be trying to set Mike up? Like, what would be the purpose of setting him up? I didn't get it. Like, I thought of that too, but like, what was the end game of setting? Normally, if you set someone up because you want them to do something for you,
they want them to fight in the tournament.
But okay, we're gonna get to that in a minute. That's still stupid as hell. So anyway,
but I think the brother-in-law wanted him to throw the fight to put him over.
Anyway, so Mike says, "Don't worry about it. It has to be some type of misunderstanding. I'm going to talk with Chet about this, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Don't worry about it." So what Chet does, not Chet. What Mike does, he ends up calling Chet's friend, the other guy that was at the dinner, who he explained his whole system to, and he's also the same guy that he faxed over the information about his system. He contacted him. I think his name was Jerry. So he tells Jerry about the situation with the watch. They meet up for dinner, and they're sitting there at dinner, and he tells him, "We have a situation about the watch. I tried to pawn it, and it came back. We found out that it was stolen." And he says, "Oh, it was stolen? Wow." And then he I think he had to take a phone call or something. He steps outside of the restaurant. He never comes back.
Yeah, that was weird.
So he stayed there. So and Mike stays there the whole time, just sitting at the table until
like there was nothing. Actually, the wait staff was lined up waiting for him to leave.
They were ready to go home. Yeah, he's sitting there at the table drinking. Well, it wasn't even his wine. Like that was Jerry's wine. He ended up leaving it. But why would he disappear? Like why? Like how was that part of the setup for? What was the purpose of Jerry? Did Jerry send a watch? Was he trying to send Mike to jail? But it just didn't make any sense. This is when I really started to get fucking pissed off because this shit wasn't making sense. Like none of that. When that guy left,
that whole scene don't.
It does not make any sense at all. Like even if I wanted to say like agree with you and say this is part of the setup, like what was the end game of the setup? Like it made no sense.
It has to be to get him in that tournament.
But I would agree with you if we get to the tournament in a minute. We get to the tournament shortly because I'm ready to be done with this goddamn movie. Okay, so he ends up walking away. He ends up leaving. He leaves. I don't even remember what happened next. Let me look at these notes here. So far, I barely had to look at these notes. A lot of this is off the top of my head.
This movie's 12 years old. Do you know that?
Yeah, you know what? I thought that I saw this movie before because I remember.
Yeah.
I remember maybe I don't know if there's another movie out there called Red Belt. I don't know. I thought that I saw this movie. I thought I saw a movie named Red Belt, but when I watched this movie, nothing was familiar to me. Nothing at all. I knew Randy Couture was in the movie, and Randy Couture is pretty much just a commentator. That's pretty much it. Because throughout the movie, we see him on TV. He's on TV and he's talking about this event that's coming up. And then when we get to the event, we see him there commentating. But that's pretty much it. Let me see. Okay, so then Mike goes back home and he's talking to his wife. And she is trying to get in contact with Chet's wife. This is another part that didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So when they left that dinner, she ended up getting a bunch of phone numbers for Chet's wife. Now when she called to talk to Chet's wife, it's the following couple of days or whatever, Chet's wife is not answering the phone. So she can't get in contact with her. Now, meanwhile, because she talked to Chet's wife and they were going to do business together, Sandra ended up ordering, I think, what did they say, $30,000 worth of merchandise from Brazil. So she had to cover it. They didn't have the money. So she went to a loan shark to get the money. Mm-hmm. So now Mike is upset. So this is another part. Like, why would she stop talking to her? Why would like she had nothing to do with Mike's business. Even still, so Jerry gets up from the restaurant.
I think she was trying to get her own deal with a clothing or whatever it was she does. She never really say.
But she was. That's
why she sold Mike out.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, why would Chet's wife not answer the phone now?
Because they took her for her because they took her for her fabric plug.
They didn't.
Yeah, they did.
She made the call.
Right, but then she gave them the $30,000.
I don't think she gave it to Chet and his family. She gave it to her family. She placed an order. But
that's what I'm saying.
But why would Chet's wife not contact? Why would she just stop talking to her? So you're saying that she got
because she's in on it.
Huh?
She's in on it with the clothing deal.
But no. I think you misunderstanding me. Because so me and you gonna do a deal, Mike. Okay, and what I want you to do, I want Mike. I'm telling you, I like what you're talking about. I want you to open up some karate schools. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Me and you about to be partners. We about to blow up. And you say, okay, well, I got to call my family because my family have, I don't know. Let's say they made mats. Okay, right. So they're going to put mats in all of my school. Okay, cool. Go ahead, Mike. Get everything going. Okay. I like the mats that your family makes. Okay, cool. So you contact your family and you say, okay, I need $30,000 worth of mats. Okay. For all of my karate schools I'm about to open up.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So then you call me to let me know what's going on your end, and I just don't answer the phone no more. You don't hear from me no more. That's weird. Like, why? Like, what does that have?
Weird. I get it.
That has nothing to do with whatever was going on with Mike. That I don't understand. Like, I'm missing it. It just seems like so much shit just been left out of this movie that it was just frustrating to me. Right. So I was like, why is she not answering the phone for her? They were going to do a business deal together, and now she's calling to follow up with X, Y, Z, and now she can't get through to talk to anybody. Weird.
No, I get it. You're right.
That was crazy. So when Mike finds out that she borrowed this money from a loan shark, he goes to talk to the loan shark. And, because he's upset with his wife and he wants to try and find a way to deal with this, especially now that he knows that Chet and them are not answering the phone. So he wants to get an extension. So then he sees on the TV screen, he sees the tournament, that the event is coming up. And as he's listening, he finds out that the event is actually his system. Now, Mike.
With the marbles.
Mike, we knew from the beginning of this movie this event was going on. We saw Randy Couture earlier in the movie. When we also saw Mike go to his brother-in-law's bar, and he told him about this fight was coming up. Now all of a sudden, the rules for the fight have changed because the event was already going on. So now that these guys have his system, the event's changing.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
No sense. So now he finds out that his brother-in-law has stolen his idea for his system. So,
but wouldn't it have been already? So here's my question with that: wouldn't it already been his brother-in-law's system because they learned from the same master?
Yeah. So
why did he need to steal it? That didn't make no sense to me.
None of this makes sense. None of it. Zero. And as time is going on, I'm like, I'm wasting my time watching this damn movie. If you guys watch it, watch it to. I don't know why you would watch it. After listening to us, I really don't know why you would watch it. Maybe it's just your curiosity. You want to see how stupid this fucking movie is.
Right.
Okay. So he ends up getting Laura. Now, Laura is the woman at the very beginning of the movie who shot out the window. Well, Laura has decided that she wanted to do some training. So eventually she ends up coming back to Mike and talking. And, she's a little bit nervous about, taking classes. And he kind of calms her down to letting her know it'll be okay. So something happened to Laura that we find out. I was barely paying attention. What happened? Was she raped? She
had been raped and assaulted.
Okay, so she had been assaulted. So anytime someone comes closer to her, she gets worried, she gets scared, she has anxiety, and that's why she grabbed the gun, and that's why she shot it at Joe at the beginning of the movie. But Mike was, letting her know that it's going to be okay, and pretty much, I'm going to help you through this problem, and we're going to help, get over it. So we find out that Laura is an attorney. And Laura also paid for the window to get fixed. Right. Now, to go back earlier in the movie, Mike and his wife were talking about the window, how they were going to fix it. And Mike was nonchalant. He didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. He didn't seem like he was really worried about getting his window fixed. His wife was more concerned about getting the window fixed than he was. He made, he was just like, well, we got insurance will fix it. There it is. So he said, we'll just tell them that something blew in and knocked out the window and boom, we'll get the money to fix it. Well, his wife tells him, did you read the policy? That's going to be considered an act of God. And an act of God is not covered in the policy. Right. So it's not going to be covered by insurance. So she was pissed.
Right.
And she was also saying that she needed money for her business also. Did you hear her say if she was going to take any of the money from her business and put it into getting the window fixed?
She had always complained about that she couldn't get her business taken off or invest back into her business because all the money she was making from her business, she was putting back into the academy. So I assume she was the one that was going to have to pay for it.
Yeah. Now, I wonder what his problem was because it seems like he had quite a few students. It seemed like his wife was really business oriented,
Right.
So it seemed like she took care of the books for him. He probably just didn't have enough students. And we all go through that at times to cover some bills or whatever.
Right.
Because he had no money. Zero. And that's why it was so everything was just so damn weird, man. Like every time he has a chance to get a little bit of money, he pushes it away.
Yeah, he didn't want it.
He didn't want it. So he doesn't want to compete. He doesn't want money. But mind you, you are almost living in poverty, and your wife is about to leave you because of it. Because her business is trying to thrive.
Right.
Yours isn't. He seemed like the type of person that would have said, "Well, you know what? I don't believe in marketing my Brazilian jiu-jitsu school. If students they find me, and they will come to me." That's what it kind of seemed like, the type of person that he would have been, you know. Now, so he gets Laura, and she's going to be his attorney. She goes to the office with the people who are promoting this fight, and she's telling them that you guys have stolen his idea. He's used it for years. They said, well, you can't patent an idea. You know, they think they have free range to use the Marvel idea in their event that's coming up. And then as they're discussing everything, in comes Jerry. And then he starts putting two together, and he realized that he sent Jerry the information about his academy and his system, and Jerry took it and gave it to these promoters and that he's partners with, which is weird. You know why, Mike?
Why?
Because Mike was giving them the system to do the show anyway. He was already that's the whole thing he was talking about, was promoting this event with them. So I was like, okay, so basically they're just cutting him out of the deal. Like he's
right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God. That was so stupid. So he lost his idea for the event. And then someone else comes in and tells, I think another attorney says, you know, you guys aren't going to sue us. You're not going to do X, Y, and Z, because we know that your attorney shot a gun and almost shot a police officer.
Yeah, that was their attorney.
Yes, it was their attorney. And that police officer that almost got a shot, he didn't turn it in. He did not say anything. So we're going to press charges against the police officer.
Oh, this is kind of morbid. I forgot about this part.
Yeah, so we're going to press charges against the attorney. And then we're also going to go after you, Laura, for firing. And then, Mike, we're going to go after you also for being an accomplice. And then also, you know, stealing Chet's watch. I think they said that they were going to say that he stole Chet's watch and tried to pawn it. So everything, he's in a messed up situation right here. No way out of it. So then, you know, he goes over to talk to Joe about it. He goes to go see Joe, find out Joe has blown his brains out. At home. He's dead. He's gone. You know, his family is there. His wife is hysterical and she's crying. And
he's blaming Mike.
Yeah, she's blaming Mike for everything that happened to Joe. And, you know, Mike is feeling bad. So now Mike is wondering, like, damn, well, how did they find out all of this information?
Right.
Let's wrap this shit up. So then, for real, man.
It's horrible.
So then Mike decides that he's going to go ahead and compete in the event. And he has a match. And it didn't look like it was set like a tournament, like brackets. It looks like you just go. It looked like it was like almost like how Jesse's event was, where it's just two fighters are going to fight each other, and then that's it. And the winner gets $50,000. You know. So there's a big card, and they wanted him to fight on the undercard anyway. So, and this is the same events that he just got screwed out of. This is his systems event. He decided to go fight in this event, and
So
then,
this is what I know what you're thinking. This is what I think. I think he went to go fight in the event because he was going to win the $50,000. He figured he could at least win the $50,000, and he would give the $50,000 to the cop's wife.
No, I don't think he was.
Why?
Because remember, his wife borrowed $30,000 for the loan shark, so he still had to pay him back too. So I think he was going to pay the loan shark back the $30,000. The $20,000 would have been left over, and maybe the $20,000 would have been given to.
No, because he would have already stayed and fought.
Well, then if that's the case, then he's a fucking idiot. He is a fucking. He's a fucking idiot. If he was just going to go and give $50,000 to this cop's wife, now, meanwhile, so you're going to give money to this cop's wife and not worry about your own wife who just borrowed $30,000 from a loan shark? You're an idiot. Mike, not you, Mike. Not Mike Gibbs.
No, I know.
But Mike in the movie Mike, you are an idiot. If that was the case. That makes sense.
This Mike Gibbs would have let his wife would have got killed for that $30,000.
And reason why Mike Gibbs is saying that right now, because we find out that Mike's wife is in on it. She is the person
double-crossed.
She is the person who told the lawyers everything about the shooting. She told about what Laura did and Joe did. So because of the wife, Joe is dead because the lawyers went back and they told Joe everything. So he just couldn't take it. But still, that still wasn't even a reason to blow his brains out. But I know people have killed themselves for a lot less. But man, that guy really needed a hug. He needed to talk to somebody or something because
he was estranged from the beginning.
Yeah, he was. He was estranged from the very, very beginning. And I thought they would have got into like some conversation saying what was wrong. Anything. There's just so much of this movie that's just nothing. There's just no information. So now Mike has found out that his wife gave the information up. He also found out when he was getting ready to fight, he saw that some older fighter from Brazil was there, and he was impressed. He saw the old man. He was in the audience watching this event, and they ended up having a red belt there. Was the old man presented a red belt?
No, the old man is their instructor.
Okay.
That's why he got mad. He got mad that the brother-in-law brought him to the event. And he was like, I'm basically just manipulating him.
Yeah. It didn't seem like he knew him when he saw him. Like, if I saw my instructor, I would have went and spoke like, hey, how you doing, sir? Or something. I didn't know if it was something like if it was someone who trains in the Gracie system and then, they go to a jiu-jitsu tournament and they see Hoist Gracie at the events. And even though he is he is one of the main people of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu system, he technically wasn't, directly one of his students. He was one of his students from someone else. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up on the top of my head because this movie didn't fucking explain it. So, but anyway, he saw him. He was happy he saw him. And he looked mesmerized when he saw him. But anyway, he ends up going back and he ends up talking. I can't even remember why he went back to the back to talk to his brother-in-law. Something happened. I can't remember what happened. He ends up talking
because he saw the master there.
Oh,
that's when he confronted him about.
I know. No. That's not what it was. Okay, so in the bar, when Mike was in the bar earlier in the movie, he was sitting there and he was next to a magician. and the magician was showing him tricks with dice. Well, this same magician was at the event, and he saw him messing around with the marbles. So he put two and two together, and he realized, Mike realized that the whole thing was a scam. Like, the fights were fixed. So he went back to confront his brother-in-law about it, who he was not fighting. He was fighting somebody else. And they were just saying, what's the big deal? Like, you're scheduled to win. So just take your $50,000 and go home. Go fight. Take your $50,000 and go home and handle your business, you know. But, you know, Mike felt that this wasn't honorable. So he was going to go and spoil it for everyone. He was going to go to the ring and make an announcement, I guess, that, you know, everything is a scam. And as he's making his way, they're trying to stop him. He's beating people up. And then eventually his brother-in-law comes out. Him and his brother-in-law have a fight. It looks like Mike is about to pass out. He finds a way to flip over and take his brother-in-law out. He finally gets, and everybody, so they're not in the ring fighting. They're like in a hallway leading to the ring.
Yeah.
So everyone still turns and looks at them, and I guess some of the cameras turn and look at them. So everyone in the arena are watching them fight.
Hold on.
Okay.
So this is for Jeff Doss. They're in the gorilla position. That's where they're at.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know anything about wrestling, that's the inside joke for wrestling. Okay. Hi, Jeff. Thank you.
They're in the gorilla position.
Okay. So they come out, they fight, everybody watches them. He takes his brother-in-law down, and then he makes his way to center stage. And then the old man happens to get to the ring also. And for whatever reason, the old man gives him a red belt.
Master.
And that's the end of the fucking movie, people. Nothing got resolved. Joe is still dead. Joe's wife has nothing, and she says that. I think she even says that the life insurance policy is not going to pay for it. Yeah, it won't be paid because he committed suicide. Laura, who borrowed the 30. Well, you know what? Laura was in it with Chet. Now we saw Chet very briefly at the event. That's when Mike found out that his wife was in on it. He saw Laura and he saw not Laura, Sandra. I think that was her name. He saw Sandra with Chet's wife and Chet talking. So, you know, I guess I don't know. We still don't know what was the problem with Chet's wife and Sandra and how they resolved, how she got in contact with them.
Right.
We don't know anything. We never find out anything. At no point in this movie did they even did they make it seem like Mike was even trying to get his red belt. It didn't even seem like that was a thought of his.
Right.
But for some reason he gets presented with the red belt. Now, why was he presented with the red belt? All that Master saw was him, you know, doing a couple moves, and then that's it.
Other student, right?
But that doesn't mean because
he was trying to do the right thing and tell them that it was fixed. I don't know.
But the old man didn't know that. The old man knows nothing. All he knows is that there was an altercation. It was a fight in the gorilla position, like Jeff said, and that's all.
I said that for Jeff.
Oh, my bad. I thought Jeff.
No, I'm saying it for Jeff. So when he listens.
Okay. I thought you was reading. I thought Jeff jumped in the comments. Okay.
No.
That's funny. Okay. So yeah, they never explained nothing, none of it. So you know, Mike's still broke. He still has no money. All he got is a red belt. Like you can't eat a red belt.
And Laura. He probably got Laura.
We don't even know if Laura's married or not. Because remember, she was talking to someone at the beginning of the movie. Saying you said I have to be there by 8 o'clock. So we don't know. I don't know, man. It was a waste of time. This movie gets an F- from me. I will probably never watch this movie again. Like, you know, it's messed up. Like right now, I don't want to watch the movie again. But I'm curious to find out, like, what did I miss? What am I not understanding? Like, I don't like not knowing, like, what the fuck was going on. So that's the end of Red Belt. We will not. We will not. Oh goodness. That's it. I had nothing else to say about the movie.
Me either. We need to talk to Dowdell.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna send him a message, man. I'm gonna ask him like, what was the point? Like, did you want us to crap on the movie? Is that what? What you were trying to get at? Was for us
He'll
to crap
have some reason.
I don't know. Let's move on. Let's talk about something else, man. Because that was depressing. That whole movie was depressing. It was nothing but bad stuff after bad stuff after bad stuff. And even at the end of the movie, it was just nothing. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Real quickly, I just want to talk about a couple of other things before we ended up wrap it up. Did you watch any of the UFC this weekend?
I was traveling, man. I didn't see anything. I didn't have cell phone reception, man.
Okay. I saw Daniel Cormier, and I saw him fight Stipe, and he lost and he retired. Do you consider Daniel Cormier to? He made a comment saying the winner of this fight should be considered the GOAT. No way. And yeah, he did. And I do not agree with that at all. Not at all. What I will say is Daniel Cormier was a great wrestler. Yeah, I agree with that. I think he was a better wrestler than MMA competitor. You know what, man? I was never on his train because, like, to me, like, he never fought against, like. No, I'm looking up something right now. If I'm looking, I looked at his career, like the people that he fought. Like, I didn't see any impressive wins. You know, it's not like, I don't know, man. He just didn't have an impressive resume to me, especially now. Especially when it comes to heavyweights. He wasn't really fighting around back in 2007, 2008, whatever. But he didn't beat the Crow Cops. He didn't beat the Fedors. He didn't beat anybody like that. I mean, he beat. I'm trying to look at it right now. He lost to John Jones. If anybody's the GOAT, I'm gonna give it to John Jones. John Jones and George St. Pierre. You got Anderson Silva, like those type of fighters who not only dominated during their time, but they also had top level competition that they dominated. He beat an old Anderson Silva. He did. He beat Anderson Silva. He beat an old Dan Henderson. But Anderson Silva, when he fought Anderson Silva, is not a heavyweight, or he wasn't technically a light heavyweight. He was a middleweight for most of his career. I know Anderson Silva went up and fought Forrest Griffin. I watched that and I saw him beat Forrest, but he still was not a light heavyweight. He was a middleweight. He beat Josh Barnett when Barnett was in his prime. Yeah, no, I don't know. That was in 2012, right? Yeah. Josh Barnett really wasn't really fighting that much. He came back from what was it, drug rehab or something, and that's when he was in good shape. I don't know, man. Like Antonio Silva. Bigfoot. He beat Bigfoot Silva. Yeah. Bigfoot. Frank Mir was washed up when he fought him. But see, I look at Frank Mir's career as Josh Barnett's at that time. Like, I don't like they were like the same to me. They both are from that old UFC, right before it got popular, like in the early. His 2000s. Fight was good with Alexander Gustafsson. I'll give him that, but that's one. One good fight. That's one good fight. The other people are okay. I'm not knocking the fighters that he fought. What happened to Gustafsson? He dropped off. Man, after the loss. Yeah, he dropped. I looked at his record before. Man, that's horrible. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I'm not, I look at Stipe. Now, if you look at Stipe's, it's okay. It's not that bad. The people that he fought and he beat, it's better than Daniel Cormier's. Yeah, Stipe has a nice one. It's pretty nice. So as far as heavyweights go, as of right now. But that's crazy. Think about this. Since July 7th, 2018, so for 2 years, you've only fought one dude 3 times. Mm-hmm. Yep, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, his resume
is more impressive than Cormier's.
Yeah, it is. So that's why when I never understood, what was the hype about Daniel Cormier. He was a good fighter, but I just didn't see he didn't get it seemed like he got a lot more than what he should have gotten.
Right.
But then again, that's how the UFC is. They have their people who they want to promote and they want to hype up and they push. Like Amanda Nunes, they have not pushed Amanda Nunes the way they push Ronda Rousey.
Right.
And Amanda Nunes she beat the top people.
She's sweet.
And she beat Cyborg and Ronda Rousey. And she has the title in 2 weight divisions. But she doesn't get the type of publicity that Ronda Rousey got.
That's a different era now. He was trying to build stars there.
If Ronda Rousey was still competing now, Dana White would still be promoting her. She would still be in a bunch of commercials. I've seen Amanda Nunes in 1 commercial. I have not seen her in nothing else. You barely even hear of her. A lot of people know who Ronda Rousey is.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know who Amanda Nunes is unless you watch MMA. It's people who do not watch MMA at all who know who Ronda Rousey is. If you say who she is, you just know, she does UFC. That's all. That's all people would know. So they have their favorites who they want to take care of, like Conor McGregor.
Right.
They have their favorites, and I think Daniel Cormier is one of those people. He seems like a good guy. He's well spoken because he does a lot of commentating. He knows his stuff, but when he made that comment as far as being the GOATs, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. So all right, man. So Red Belt, we putting that to bed.
Sure.
You didn't get a chance to watch any of Jesse's event.
No,
I liked it. I liked it, man. It was pretty cool, man. I hope he has more of those. Trav and Chris did a good job on the commentating.
Is there any way I can watch it?
Yeah, you know what? They put something out. I think Chris posted something that you can watch it again. I think on Saturday, and it's like for $5. So, Friday. Okay, producer Travis said it's coming back out on Friday. You can watch it for $5. So you can get your ticket and watch it. I might do that again.
Through Juventex?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think I might do that, man, and watch it again because my it was going out on me. The stream was going out just about on every fight. So I missed every fight. I missed at least 1 round.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's going to be on Friday at 8 p.m.
Okay.
It's a Juventex broadcast. It's like $5 or something like that. Friday at 8 p.m.
Okay. So you hear that? If you're listening and you missed it, the first time you can watch the encore presentation of it. So, hey man, did you see that we're putting my comic strip back up? Have you ever seen my comic strip? I saw
something.
Before?
Yeah, the jump kick.
Yeah. So Trav was trying to get more traction for the Martial Arts Center Network. So he asked if he can put the strip on there, man. And I was a little nervous at first because I don't like those old strips.
I actually like them.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't like those old strips because.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because those old strips, I feel, are not a representation of how I draw. Number one. Number two, those old strips are drawn with a mouse. That's not me with a pen or anything. That's me drawn with a mouse. And also, right. I had my son in my arm, so I was feeding him a bottle and drawing at the mouse at the same time. So, I feel like I don't know. I think a lot of artists are like that.
But that makes it cooler, though, man.
I don't know. I guess, man.
Was I the white kid in all the comic strips?
No.
One white kid. There was always the one white kid.
No. I got a few white kids in the comic strip, man. I wanted to make sure that the comic was multicultural. So I got one kid in there that's a Jewish kid. Also have a couple of white kids, girls, boys, different type of family, people who have, what I did do is a lot of times they don't talk about single fathers in TV shows too often.
Right.
So what I did, I made one of the dads in there a single dad, and
really
did that. Yeah, because I don't,
That's
we don't really see it too often. So I listened to Travis and Chris's podcast. I listened to CTE today. Whoa. And Travis talking about it, and some of the things in the comic strip, I took different things that happened in our lives growing up, and I kind of changed certain things around, and then some stuff is just completely just made up. Right. But I always wanted to do a comic strip, man. Growing up, and I always wanted to do the comic strip after I became successful in music. So that's why it took me so long to do the comic strip. Because a lot of times, if you become, so imagine like if Jim Davis or Charles Schultz wanted to start a record label, people be like, why is right. the Peanuts guy, trying to rap now or producing music,
Right.
But you can go the other way. Like if Jay-Z came out with a comic, everybody would go crazy for it because it's Jay-Z doing a comic or right. Puff doing a comic, So you can become a success in hip hop and go and do something else, but it does not work the other way. So I wanted to, do the comic after I became successful in music. But when I noticed that I was quitting music and I wasn't going to do that anymore, that's when I just started to do the comic. And originally, the comic wasn't, what it is now. It was right. It was something totally different.
I always enjoyed it though, man. I always thought it was cool you did it. I remember you had the paraffin, all the
yeah. So I had to get some new equipment for it also to make it a little bit easier for me when I produce it. So I just got a new iPad so I can draw directly on it without drawing with a mouse or anything like that. So the new ones will be coming out, with the next couple of weeks. One of the cool things I have an editor. Travis and Crystal are like editors. So sometimes some of the comic strips I push to the edge a little bit. And it's so funny, like as soon as I put it out, Trav and Crystal will see it and they'll see me a text message like, hey, too close to the edge. Like, watch it. You about to go over go over the edge with some of the comedy, because it's almost borderline PG-13 a little bit, with some of the strips. But, I'm about to get back to it and put the new ones up. So on Mark Starks Internet Network, you'll be able to see the old ones. And then on my website, we'll have the new ones, going forward. So, all right, man. We've been talking enough. What we gonna do next week? What we watching, man? You pick. You want to do something cigar? You want to do a cigar movie? You ready for that?
Above the Law.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, we do Above the Law. So next week, people, we're watching Above the Law. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot better than Red Belt. And we can wash the taste of our mouth of Red Belt and move on to something. You got anything else for the people, Mike?
No, I'm sorry, man. My power went out right here. So power's out.
Always something, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Before Mike loses his stream, we're gonna shut it down. For everyone here on the Martial Arts Internet Network, me and Mike, you guys have a good week. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget, we're watching Above the Law, Steven Seagal. Man, I'm crossing my fingers. I haven't seen this movie before, so I hope it's good.
You never seen Above the Law?
Nah, as you can see, man, me and Travis did not grow up watching karate movies. It's certain movies.
You're gonna hate me.
So, okay. Chris and Jeff, they said, "What's up? What's up, fellas?" All right, so let's wrap it up. We will see you guys next week, right here, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks on Wednesdays. Peace.